second the welcome that you guys have received so far. Thank you so much for coming. You will not be disappointed that you came to the house of the Lord today. We are going to be blessed. And Mercy Ballard, she shared a little bit of her testimony last night with us. We were really blessed to hear how God has led her and given her the ministry that she has. And Mercy, will you please come up this afternoon and share with us again?
Hello, everybody. I'm just so delighted to be here with you here. I wanted to meet the Raffertys for a while, so I'm very happy that we ended up at their home. So that's a blessing. Another blessing is just to come into a country house. It's so beautiful, just be in this environment. And also, I'm just so blessed to come with my friend here. We do ministry together at our church, and we're very active visiting the community. So it's just a blessing serving God in that regard too. So I would like to share my PowerPoint. I'm connected here. I'm supposed to be showing, but okay. It's coming. So today we're going to talk about the medical missionary work and the practicality of the medical missionary work. I just going to say a little bit about ourselves and about the work that God has given us. In the year 2013, and it was about January 2013, we started a lifestyle center. And the reason was because, I was sick, I recovered, and I want to share to other people what God has shown me to recover from my condition. So we started this lifestyle center in 2013. And we've been doing this for all these years. Whether was problems or no problems, we just continue doing. I remember one time my husband had this very serious accident, and it was Thursday night. He got this accident. He was fixing the car, a truck that he's supposed to pick up a new refrigerator for our program that was coming on Sunday. So he went underneath the truck, and somehow the truck just got his legs and his head. This was a humongous truck. So they had to fly him to the nearest trauma center. He was bleeding from both ears. So he was very, very, very sick. So we didn't know he was going to make it. But by God's grace, he did. But I had a program on Sunday. Can you believe? So I couldn't say, my heart's in the hospital. I just cannot do this program. I just moved forward, and I didn't miss the program. When he was coming home on Sunday, also our guests were coming at the same time. So some friends went to the hospital, picked him up, and he was there. But God bless us. We have such an amazing program. God really bless us. So sometimes we're going to have stumbling blocks. We're going to have really difficult times, but we have to move forward. Sometimes we don't want to do things until we have everything right, even changing our diets. But we just have to move forward with what we know. And God is going to bless us, and we are going to see that. So this is our lifestyle center that we started, and God bless us also because, I was praying that God give us this place, and it was just exactly what I was envisioning. It was in the country. I was saying, God, I want a place there. 80% of this land is wood, so we did have more than 80% wood there. It's a forest, probably 90% or more. And then I said, I want a lot of water, because I was thinking in times also. and that was water. You know, had to drive over water just to come to the property. And I said, I want a big house and a little house. I want to have a big house, a sanitarium cabin, very, very small house. But then we have this big house where we do our programs. In 2016, you know, throughout these years, from 2013 to 2016, I was always praying. I said, God, send me somebody I can team up and bring this world. This isn't working, so we're going to let us know. Okay. So I was saying, God, send me somebody that we can team up and bring this world to the world, because I saw that epidemic was incredible throughout the world, and there was no answers medically, but God had the answers, because the natural remedies that God has given us with the principles, the answers were there. So from 2013 to 2016, in January to 2016, Dr. Josh, anybody knows Dr. Josh? She's an ophthalmologist. And she came as a guest, as a patient, and she just loved the program. And so she said that, you know, in the third day, her pain was gone. She had a lot of pain. So she said, oh, okay, you know, why don't we team up and do something? And I said, yeah, let's start with a book. So in 2019, we wrote this book together, and she wrote, you know, all the science behind, and we put all these recipes. And, you know, recipes books usually don't do much, because how do you put all these recipes in a plan that is a whole meal, right? So then I said, no, it needs to be a menu, not a recipes. It has to be a plan with a full breakfast, full meals. So we did this book with full meals and, you know, explanation why we do what we do. And then, so God really sent her to our lifestyle center because we team up. And I thought that, you know, there is millions of people suffering with autoimmune disorders that need help. And I saw, you know, you follow perhaps the paleo and even, you know, as for non-Seventh-day Adventists. And then in 2000, and that was 2019. 2020, the one before, we started a Facebook. And the reason was because 2020, what happened? The pandemic, right? It was started in December 2019. And then I did a program in March, and things started happening. And they said that we cannot do this or do that. And what do we do now? So we started realizing that this was a serious issue, and that we had to start just a Facebook to have people, you know, give their thoughts of what was happening, the liberties of consciousness and things like that. And we need to do training medical missionaries with the principles that God has given us. So we started a training online, and you know, God gave us a success, and we had 50 to 100 people joining this training every 3 months, because the program takes about 2 months. And then we have a short break, and then we started again. We never stop. So we continue doing this. In 2022, we started Med Missionary for Spanish. 2023, we started first was Romanian, then Spanish, then we did also Portuguese. So we're doing this medical missionary training for this is a program that, you know, you remember the CHIP program? Well, we wanted to do the autoimmune recovery program similar to bring the community into the church. So it's a program that has been very friendly for the community. The community is super loved. And so we have done 2 of these programs in our church. From the moment that we think it's about us, then, you know, the success is going to be gone, right? It's God's success and His work that He wants to do it. And this is a passage that I love. During His ministry, Jesus devoted more time to healing the sick than to preaching. Isn't it this what we're supposed to do? More healing than preaching? So how do we do that? There was this lady that came to our last program in our last health center. She's a Catholic. So we're really paying attention about all these concepts of medical missionary. So can you believe at the end of the 10 days, this lady send messages of whatever we were saying to many friends that were so interested about, following these principles. And this is a natural remedy for this. This is a natural remedy for this. Oh, this passage says that. And this, and she put in the Facebook everything she was learning. And, and I said, wow, you're really a great medical missionary. So she was very happy because she said at the beginning, I don't know, I think these people wanted me to be a medical missionary. At the end, she was very happy that she's being a medical missionary. So it really opens the doors for people that we help to be to be medical missionaries too. In every sense of the word. A personality, how many type A personalities are here? Myself, I'll type, I just run and I have to go to sleep because I had to go to sleep. But if it were not for Sabbath, I'd probably be sick by now because I cannot stop working. So, all these laws of health that God has given us are incredible blessing for all of us. Let no one consider that medical missionary work is taking the place of the gospel, for it is the gospel practice, the gospel adopted to the needs of the suffering humanity. It prepares the way for the reception of the truth. So when we go to the community, we have 7 people in our church. It's a little church that we like to knock doors. A lot of people don't feel comfortable, and it's okay. There's a work for them also. Because there is a lot of work behind the scenes that need to be done. We need them too. And we need people to making calls. We need people to arranging the place where we do the classes, or the cooking classes, people that need to wash. So there's work for everybody. And but we love going to knock the doors. So when we knock needy, and the next day we do, Sunday, the cooking school health class, and that you see these people that are so happy to come, and when they learn all these simple remedies, they're so excited. And so, of course, we pray with them, and we ask, do you have any prayer requests? And they love us to praying for them, for whatever needs they have. So it really, really, truly opened the way. So I want to just present a case of this lady. She was suffering of lupus, Hashimoto, and fibromyalgia. So she was 70 years and 169 pounds, 5'2", and she was recently diagnosed with lupus. Actually, she wasn't even diagnosed with lupus. I just, because of the symptoms, I said, have your doctor do the ANA test. There's a test for lupus called ANA, or other autoimmune disorders. The ANA test is indicative of autoimmune disorders. So she did, and she had lupus. But she was suffering also for fibromyalgia. It's probably the lupus. Sometimes it's when they cannot find a diagnosis, they say you have fibromyalgia. Then she was suffering of spondylitis, Hashimoto, diabetes for 1 year, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, some surgeries, H. pylori, abdominal pain, abdominal distension, diarrhea, urinary urgency, urinary incontinence, brittle nails, rash, itchy. What really bothered her the most was the itching, because she didn't have relief, and she will cry because she's itching. And she had pain in the right knee, right hip for 20 years. Also brain fog, she will walk with a cane, severe fatigue, and the markers of inflammation were positive, the CRP, ESR, ANA. And so we start doing our protocol. In week 3, the itch started decreasing, the rash started decreasing, abdominal pain, abdominal distension was gone. The pain in hip that was having for how long? 20 years, right? Went to 5. itching, by week 4, no itchy, rash continued to decrease, diarrhea gone, urinary incontinence started to improve. We have, she started losing weight. She lost 15 pounds in 5 weeks. No longer urinary urgency or incontinence. That can be really, really difficult. But week 3, she got start coughing, fever, muscle pain. Guess what she had? COVID. So, when you're very sick, it's tough, right, to deal with this. But, she was 7 weeks with that protocol, and she recovered pretty quick, but the pain was gone. The pain totally from the right hip and right knee was gone. So then the doctor office sent a letter and said, okay, your A1C went down a little, CRP's down almost half, which is inflammation. Cholesterol went down significantly, almost half. Bad cholesterol from 134 to 80. The ESR went down a lot. And, and the thyroid medication had to be decreased because the TSH improved. So they had to decrease from 75 micrograms to 50 micrograms. And they said, your TPO is high, so showing that she had autoimmune disorder, and we're going to discuss next time. Come back in August. So week 18, she lost 35 pounds, no longer symptoms. She's walking for miles. She's hiking with the youth. Can you believe she's 70 years? When she has so much pain, she was in a cane. But this is 18 weeks. How many months is that? No. 4.5 months. Okay? In 4.5 months, she's hiking. What a blessing. Then week 18, she's feeling incredible. CRP significantly lower. A1C, remember, she was diabetic for 1 year, is normal. Labs are normal, free of symptoms. So after a year, she continued to improve. And the ANA that was positive, indicating she had lupus, was normal. Can you believe? So at that point, she wasn't dealing with lupus anymore. So what a blessing after a year, and it was gone. Praise the Lord for that. Usually, they're going to say you don't heal from lupus. You're going to be dealing with lupus all your life. Okay, so do you know when somebody had this dramatic recovery, what do you think they're going to do after that? Yeah, they're going to share with anybody that want to hear it, right? They're going to get tired of you, talking about it. When I recover from my condition, I will tell anybody and everybody that want to hear it. And because I was just so excited to help people that are sick, a lot of people didn't pay attention, but some people did. But this lady started bringing people on Sundays for me to do an introductory class on food. So she will bring 20 people. So I make a lunch for 20 people. Then after a couple of months, she will bring another 20 people. And then again, another 20 people. She brought all her church. So they start wanting to follow money, what God has done for you, and just your experience of, doing this medical missionary work. Anyhow, so she sent me a picture preaching. So isn't it an amazing thing when God gives us a testimony we're going to be wanting to share? So we have come to a time when every member of the church should take hold of the medical missionary work. The world is a laser house filled with victims of both physical and spiritual disease. So, because is there even a home that is healthy? In this time of age, there's going to be somebody in our house that's going to be sick, right? I haven't seen yet many families that they home, including my own family, that is all healthy. So it is a time that is a serious time that we're living in. and people are suffering right and left. So the medical missionary work is going to be helpful to relieve this suffering, for them to open their hearts also to hear God's message, right, the gospel message. We shall see the medical missionary work broadening and deepening at every point of its progress because of the inflowing of hundreds and thousands of streams until the whole earth is covered as the water covers the seas. So how is this going to happen? This is going to happen if we unite, right? So we all do our part. So every part in the world is going to hear about the health message so they can hear the gospel message. And so this was my favorite passage when we started our ministry. I said, yeah, we have to bring the medical mission work all over the world. So, I believe there's many ministries now forming in different parts of the world, and they're doing their part. And so we have to do our part and unite. So when I really want to do something like this, how can these other, not ministries, but programs that go all over the world, and how come we're behind? As I said earlier, so I said we should do online. So that's how we start doing the online training. But there is much more to do, right? So we have trained over 3,000 people in the last 4 years. But 3,000 people seem a lot, but how many millions do we have in this world? It's really not much. I said to Joyce, we should at least train 1 million people just in the United States. Because we have, how many millions? Adventist millions, about 22 million, something like that. So at least 1 million people. So 3,000, it might seem good, but it's really not. So we need to really step up and do, get ways to reach more people and unite. Because, when we train somebody, that person can train the next person, that train the next person, right? So training somebody else is the way that the work is going to go all over. In Matthew 23, the disciples came, Jesus, tell us, how is it going to be at the end time? What are the signs of end time? And Jesus said, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Anybody, are we living in end times? We in the tip of the toss, right? And the end of toss. And so see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and what? Pestilences and earthquakes and diverse places. All these are the beginning of the sorrows. So can we expect there's going to be more pestilences coming? Should we be ready to help and jump? That was, when COVID-19 came, it was the time for us to jump and bring the message to the world. But more are coming, so we have chance. God is giving us more chances to do this, and that's why we need to be ready for that, right? We are told that in time of trouble, there will be sick ones. We're there, right? Plenty of them that will need help. So because of the need, but also for their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. And those who will do this is going to need it. It's needing right now. And so, we have this, want me to do this part-time for now, full-time. How should I start? Because the field is huge, right? Obesity is incredible right now. Somebody can be, okay, I do lifestyle for obesity. I can do lifestyle, even autoimmune disorders, just lupus. I can do lifestyle for type 1 diabetes. I can do lifestyle for this. So if we do our part, imagine we can just refer to people, okay, this person does this and this, that, and help each other, and we can, help this specific condition that people are living with. We just did an open house this Thursday for here and there when we're going to start new courses, we do open houses. So we did an open house on obesity and also weight. Not just the overweight, but also underweight, because underweight is a huge problem. And it's very difficult to overcome unless we're very, very careful with what we do and follow a lot of principles. So a lot of people joined, hundreds of people joined because, they want to overcome this problem. And also there's people that want to help other people because this is a huge problem of overweight and obesity. So, we are really going to find a labor everywhere. The right hand is used to open doors through which the body may find entrance. This is a part of medical missionary work is to act. It is to largely prepare the way for the reception of the truth for this time. Yeah, that is what we experience in our church just by knocking the doors. So it is. Do you think it's just the medical mission work, or should we help them with other needs also? So we went and this guy said, is there anything we can help you with? Because, we have guys that want to help with doing something. And, because we are in the country, it's people that don't have the tools or something. So I said, I need to clean the gutters, and I don't have a ladder. I said, okay, we'll send somebody to do that. And then this other lady that's coming to our classes, do you have any need? You need us to help you with something here, cleaning your yard or something like that? I have wood on top of my ceiling that I cannot bring it down. Okay, we'll set it up to do that. So, little things like that really attracts people, and then they want to be your friends and they want to come to the church because they want to have a support system, a spiritual support system also. So, it's really attractive. Meeting the needs of the community really attracts them to our church. Every church member should be engaged in some lines of service of the master. Some cannot do so much as others, but everyone should do his utmost to roll back the tides of disease and distress that sweep over our world. So as I said, some people might not be out going to knock doors, but they will be wanting to help in the church, right? And internally, we have a lady that very supportive to ministry and the husband. So they set up the chair, they set up Be Sure, they come and hit the place early. And so that's very helpful to have that support system. Many would be willing to work if they were taught how to begin. So sometimes it's not because people don't want to do it, it's just because how do I do it? So we have to help people train with this. And I'm going to show another case. This is a lady that was almost every major organ of his body was shutting down. And she was sick since she was very young. Now she was born 57. So how old is she now? 69. Okay. So she was 92 pounds, 5'6", and a little high blood pressure, heart rate in the hundreds, atrial fibrillation. So her heart, right, was affected. Hyperlipidemia, that's heart. Hypertension, heart. Asthma, the lungs. And she would sleep with a CPAP machine since she was 26. So most of her life. Pulmonary nodules, so that's the lungs. Fibromyalgia, that was her muscles. Insomnia, brain. Migraine, the brain. Thyroid hormone. Hashimoto thyroid, genetic amyloidosis, Barrett esophagus, so that's precancer, because when they're dealing with H. pylori, it can go into Barrett syndrome, and that will go into cancer. So then that was the digestive system. Osteoporosis, so her bones were affected. Kidney disease is stage 3. So that's her kidney. Stroke, that was her brain. She had a car accident and broke her left wrist, left leg, left foot, left shoulder. So the left side was in a lot of pain. And the symptoms were, of course, chest pain, abdominal pain, heartburning, bloating, and also diabetes, right? So her pancreas was affected. Also, the liver had very high enzymes. So every organ of her body was affected. Chest pain, abdominal pain, heartburning, bloating, nausea. Just reading make me tired. Can you believe somebody is suffering with this? Constipation, chills. She had to sleep with a CPAP. Nerve pain, leg cramps, tachycardia, swelling +3. She had food sensitivity. She couldn't eat any fruit because it made her sick. She was sensitive to onions, garlic, tomatoes. How do you help somebody cannot eat onions or garlic? Brown rice, corn, coconut, almonds, soy, peanuts, peanut butter, garlic, lentils. So she couldn't eat any of this. So we had to put a special diet without these foods, but replacing, still create a balanced diet with all the components that's supposed to be in a balanced diet. So our last appointment was June 26th. So we started, I believe, in March. Last heart rate was 78. She lost some weight. She went down to 187. She continued to lose after that. Can you believe she no longer needed CPAP? Swelling in the legs. She couldn't fit shoes, so she had to go with sandals to the church. And then she sent me a picture with high heels. She couldn't wear high heels for a while. So no more swelling, and all her labs, went down. The TSH, do you see here, from 948 to 1.8. That's a remarkable thing. And the TPO, the thyroglobulin, which are the antibodies for the thyroid, went to normal. So, the world must have an antidote for sin, as a medical missionary works intelligently to receive suffering and save life. But the amazing thing with this lady was that her mind. She was sick for so long that it's going to affect you, right? You're going to be depressed because you're sick. And she was also abused when she was a child. Severely abused, that she was very angry. And she will cry, and she said, I cannot even treat well my husband. My husband is very nice. I cannot even be nice. That's all she learned. That, she learned abuse and being angry because she was abused. Because the medical missionary work, it needs to be spiritual. It has to be spiritual, right? We have to teach them faith. We have to teach them that God is the source of healing, and God doesn't just want to heal physically, but God wants to heal you mentally and spiritually too. And for her, that was a transformation. And for her, she was more thankful about God healing her brain than anything else, as sick as she was, because she could be happy now. She could treat others with kindness and love, because God had transformed her also mentally and spiritually. So that was the best thing that happened to her. And that reminded me that one person that signed up for our course from South Africa. So he sent us an email. He said, it was a very good email. So I said, can I interview you? Yeah. So it was, he signed up because he had leaky gut and symptoms, digestive symptoms. And so he said that, all that is gone. My bloating is gone. My, heartburning is gone. All that is gone. And but, the most amazing thing that happened to me is that my anger is gone. This boy was abused sexually when he was little, and he had so much anger that he couldn't treat well people. He was very angry with anybody. And he said, now I'm calm, I'm happy, and this is really helpful for my family, he said. So, God really wants to bring a total restoration in our lives. As a medical missionary works intelligently to receive suffering, save lives, hearts have softened. So, when we bring this message of healing physically, they're going to want to listen more, right? I mean, this person have brought healing to me that nobody could help me. What else? They're going to know more, right? So they're going to be open to the gospel message. So they're going to be open to Bible studies. They're going to be open to join your church. And so this is it really softens the hearts. Those who are helped are filled with gratitude. As a medical missionary works upon the body, God works upon the heart. That reminds me, there was this lady, she was Indian. So she was searching for a church. She went from checking every kind of church. And she said, they want me to, do meditation for 30 minutes and don't think anybody. Oh, no, that's not for me, I cannot just be there. She was saying, I tried this and I tried that. So we were teaching about the medical missionary work, and she didn't know about Jesus. And we started talking about Jesus. At the end of the program, she told me, I'm going to open up 2 lifestyle centers. This year, I'm going to open up 1, and the next year, another lifestyle center. And I want to be a medical missionary work. But, something sad happened, and I just want to say this, and not to be negative, but just to make people aware. So she went to this church, first time in her life, and she was sitting there. Nobody talked to her. I know this church is very, very, very welcoming, but that's very important. To show the love of God to a church. So she said, that church is not very medical missionary oriented. Can you point me to another medical missionary church? She thought that all the churches are medical missionary, churches. So can you point me to some place else? So she still want to give it a try again. So, I continue to pray with her and talk to her to encourage her. But I think it's very important to show the love of God to these people and show kindness and go the extra mile, right, when we're helping somebody. And I love this passage. The doing of medical missionary work brings rays of heaven, brightness to the weary, perplexed suffering souls. It is as a fountain open for the way-worn, thirsty travelers. And this is one of my another favorite passage. At every work of mercy, every work of love, angels of God are present. Isn't it amazing? So when we do programs, I say, God, send the angels to work with us and guide us with everything we're doing. Because it's not about us. It's about God's work. And how are we going to do God's work the right way? Is going to be because He's going to send the dignities of heaven to help us. Those who live nearest to heaven will reflect the brightness of the sun of righteousness. Isn't it amazing? So we have to have this sweet spirit that only God can give us, right? Remove this negative mind that sometimes, or words that we have, but bring sunshine to people. In Deuteronomy 7:15 said, "Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female bearing among you or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness." Do we believe that? "And will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest upon thee, but will lay them upon all of them that hate thee." But I like this passage, similar in Exodus 15:20. And said, "If thou do the right things, and we still sick." And because we live in a world that is so toxic, and sometimes it's lack of knowledge also on what to do. like in my case, I was, and your ministry becomes more powerful than anything else. So what is this in our times? What does this mean in our times? So, Spirit prophecy said about these passages, the Lord has given me light. That when the Israel of today humble themselves before him and cleanse the soul temple from all defilement, he will hear the prayers on behalf of the sick and will bless in the use of his remedies for disease. Hasn't God given us so many principles how to treat disease? What are we going to do when we cannot buy and sell anymore? Are we going to save a lot of medications to last us till Jesus comes? Or do we believe that God has natural remedies to take care of us? Even fractures. Somebody from Canada, when everything was happening, if they don't get the shot, they cannot go to the hospital. Somebody told me, I think my son got broken leg. What do I do? You do the best you can. Try to put it on place and put some wood there and wrap it up until it heals, right? What do we do when you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no medical treatment? Somebody had a wound, just put it together and tape it. Do whatever it takes. We have to learn how we're going to treat ourselves when we cannot buy and sell anymore. And so, God is going to lead us. When the trends of events are happening, he's going to lead us what to do. And because, we have so many principles in the Spirit prophecy, how to do things naturally. So I have been collecting throughout the years all these principles, how to eat, how to combine foods, what is good combination of the foods, what should we combine or not combine, are olives good, are oils good, are these good? I mean, it's less incredible. She talks even about going restaurants, some passages, and it's like wow. She talks about, if you look at Temperance page 12, check it out. She told us about what was going to happen with wheat. It's in there. And so if we see these principles of health that God has given us through his servant, we will find those things. And we probably going to learn more and more and discern more and more as things happen. Because, like she said, the health message is progressive. And it probably, as more things are dumped into this world, we will have to learn more. We have not arrived. It will be much more to learn. So our health message from 30 years ago is not the same. Our health message for this time. At that time, we didn't have the epidemics of autoimmune disease, obesity. So at this time, the treatment is different. And she said that there's some stuff that we have not learned yet, and the medical missionary, the health message is progressive. So God is going to continue showing us, like 30 years ago in Joel 1, you find that it says about the corn and the wheat, what was going to happen with the barley. It says that, but we couldn't understand that 20 years ago. But now, when we read the Bible with the eyes of what is happening in these times, we find in Revelation and Jeremiah passages for that. For this treatment that God has provided, his efforts will be blessed of God. So we have to, in faith, believe that God will bless us because we're doing everything and anything humanly possible, applying the natural remedies that God has given us, and God is going to do the rest. If we're going to be medical missionaries, we have to move in faith. If we thinking that we have to remove every stone that is in our walk, it will never happen. So the time is now to move on and do God's work. And God will bless us. And it's just we have to ask God, what you want me to do? Applying the health message that you have been giving us to your church in these times. And God's going to use us in a powerful way, in a way that we never imagined. And so he wants to do this work in the lives of everybody here. So I pray that God will bless all of us with something amazing. And I'm going to finish with a word of prayer. Thank you, because you have all the answers for these times, because there's nothing impossible for you, and you want to show us this. I just want to pray that your power is upon everybody here. Everybody here, that we are willing to follow your principles, and you have given us everything is needed to thrive in the worst times of of this earth, and that we can be strong and healthy to preach your message and spread your word. So I just want to ask you that all of us are used in a powerful way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, it's not on. Our final hymn will be hymn number 590, Trust and Obey. Wait, is it staying? Yeah. Oh, please stand up. Hymn number.
We'll be singing 1, 3, and 5.
Oh, only verses 1, 3, and 5.
The right arm that opens the door to the gospel, and this work, the gospel and the health message, go together. Thank you for Mercy and for all that she shared with us, and for leading her in her life to develop an outreach, a medical missionary outreach post. Father, we pray that you would lead us to do that here in